Imagine this. Overnight, China, the world's biggest buyer of American soybeans, decides to shut its doors. No more used soybeans allowed. Farmers in Iowa suddenly have mountains of crops with nowhere to go. Prices collapse, grocery bills shift, and trade tensions spike into full-blown economic warfare. But here's the real kicker. What happens next doesn't just affect farmers. It affects you, your wallet, your job, and even the cost of the food on your dinner plate. So, what would actually happen if China stopped buying you soybeans? In this video, we're breaking it all down in plain English. You'll learn why soybeans matter so much to the U.S. economy, what happens to farmers, jobs, and global markets if China cuts off imports, how tariffs and trade wars ripple into your grocery bill and inflation, and finally, whether America can survive or even benefit if China pulls the plug. Stick with me until the end, because I'll also share the surprising reason why this soybean story might just reshape the entire future of a U.S.-China trade. Ready? Let's dive in. Question for you. Did you know soybeans are America's second largest crop, right after corn? Every year, U.S. farmers produce over 4 billion bushels of soybeans. That's not just tofu and soy milk. Soybeans go into animal feed, cooking oils, biodiesel fuel, and even hidden ingredients in your favorite snacks. Nearly 1/3 of all used soybeans are exported, and China is by far the biggest customer. If soybeans were iPhones, China would be Apple's #1 buyer. Lose that customer, and suddenly your business is in trouble. Soybeans aren't just a crop. They're a lifeline in the U.S. trade balance. But what happens when that lifeline is cut? Let's see. Picture this. You're a soybean farmer in Iowa. You've spent months planting, harvesting, and investing in equipment. Suddenly, your largest customer, China, says no thanks. What happens? Prices freefall. In 2018, when tariffs first hit during the U.S.-China trade war, soybean prices dropped by nearly 20%. Farmers who expected $10 a bushel suddenly got only $8 or less. Imagine working a job where your paycheck is slashed overnight by 20%, but your mortgage, fuel, and equipment payments stay the same. That's the reality farmers face when China steps back. Farmers don't just lose sales. They lose stability. And the ripple effects don't stop at the farm. They hit your grocery store too. Have you noticed how the cost of eggs, chicken, or beef seems to keep climbing? Here's where soybeans sneak in. Soybeans are a major source of animal feed. Chickens, pigs, and cattle all eat soybean meal. When China stops buying you soybeans, American farmers are forced to flood the domestic market. That sounds like lower prices for animal feed, right? True, but only at first. Farmers who can't make money growing soybeans may switch crops or cut production. Over time, supply shrinks, feed prices go up, and guess who pays the difference? You, the consumer. It's like when gas prices swing up and down. Sooner or later, everything from airline tickets to Uber rides gets more expensive. A trade war over soybeans could quietly hike the cost of living. But here's the part nobody talks about: jobs. What happens to American workers when China stops buying soybeans? It's not just farmers. Truck drivers, grain elevator workers, shipping companies, and even port workers feel the pain. In 2018, the American Farm Bureau estimated billions in lost income across rural America due to the soybean slowdown. Think of soybeans as a domino. When one falls, others follow. Farmers cut back, rural businesses close, equipment sales drop, and jobs vanish. Tariffs don't just change trade. They reshape entire communities. And it's not just about jobs. It's about geopolitics. So why would China ever stop buying you soybeans? During the trade war, China shifted its purchases to Brazil, the world's other soybean giant. By buying Brazilian soybeans instead, China hit the U.S. economy where it hurt most: agriculture. It's like choosing a different grocery store to punish your current one. You still get your food, but the original store loses revenue. But here's the kicker. Brazil can't always supply enough. Bad weather, limited infrastructure, and global demand mean China can't completely ignore the U.S. forever. China uses soybeans as a bargaining chip, not a permanent divorce. But could America fight back? What can the U.S. do when China plays hardball? In 2018-2019, the U.S. government issued billions in farm aid to keep soybean farmers afloat. But subsidies aren't a long-term fix. The real counterplay is finding new customers. Countries like Mexico, Egypt, and even parts of Europe have been increasing soybean imports. The U.S. also explores new uses, like biofuels, to absorb extra supply domestically. Imagine losing your biggest client at work. You can survive if you find smaller clients or create a new product. It's tough, but not impossible. The U.S. can survive without China, but not without adjustment. But here's the real surprise. What if this trade war changes the entire future of food? Here's something to think about. Food isn't just about eating. It's about power. If China stops buying you soybeans, inflation rises, global supply chains shift, and everyday Americans feel the squeeze. But long-term, this could spark innovation. New crops, new trade partners, even alternative proteins that rely less on soy. We might see more plant-based meat alternatives, more investment in food technology, and a stronger push for energy independence through biofuels. A soybean trade war could quietly accelerate the future of farming and food. So, can America actually come out stronger? Let's wrap this up. So, what have we learned? Soybeans aren't just a crop. They're a backbone of the U.S. economy. If China stops buying, farmers lose money, jobs vanish, and your grocery bill eventually climbs. China uses soybeans as a weapon in trade wars, while America scrambles to find new markets and innovate. And in the long run, this tension could reshape global food security and the future of farming. But here's the big question for you. Do tariffs and trade wars actually protect American jobs, or do they just make life more expensive for all of us? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. I'll be reading. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more clear, real-world explainers on the global economy, and share this video with someone who's been wondering why trade wars matter to their everyday life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.